Hello everyone, it's I, Wacky Anime What If here to present you with What If Deku Had the I.M.P Quirk, Christmas Special Part 2. Let's go ahead and get into it. Blitzo POV. So I have been in an empty room, tied up to a chair for a few hours now, quite literally bored out of my fucking mind, until the only door in the room opens and I see a fat, old, oversized mall Santa who tried to walk through the door, only to not fit through it, and also to bounce out of said door, going backwards down the hall he just walked through to get here, and then he ended up bouncing back up, literally jumped up, bounced up one time, got on his feet, and started wobbling all the way down the hallway. I couldn't help but to laugh. I mean, that was hilarious. It can't get any funnier than this. At least that's what I say. Until all of a sudden he tries to force himself through the door, not to fit. He gets halfway through before getting stuck. And then he just tries to remove the fucking coat he has on, thinking that's gonna work. So I start laughing even harder and I say, I don't think it's the coat, you overweight mall Santa fuck. How about you roll your fat ass back to your retirement home? I start to laugh about this until all of a sudden, he removes the coat, and it reveals a muscular figure that rivals the fucking Hulk. Immediately Blitzo says, by any chance, can we forget that I said any of that? As the muscular Santa walks into the room and walks towards him, and punches him in the face so fast, all Blitzo saw when he blinked was a fist the size of his entire head, and it impacted so hard that it replayed 3 different times, as Blitzo flies to the back of the room, hits the wall, breaking the chair, and gets an entire imprint of himself in the wall. He tries to pull himself off the wall, but can't, and is stuck on the wall, and having a broken nose as well from Santa's punch. Santa walks up towards him and says, Blitzo, 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 do you know why I'm doing this to you? He says as he slaps him in the face so hard a tooth comes flying out of his mouth. Then backhands him. Another one of his teeth come flying out. And then he repeats the process till he only has around 4 teeth left. After that happens, Blitzo immediately says, I don't know, maybe I fucked your wife because you couldn't with that mini-sized candy cane of yours that you call a dick. Immediately Santa, hearing this, takes exception to this, as he punches him in the face again and again, giving Blitzo a black eye. Currently Blitzo is in too much pain right now, but refuses to show it. Then Santa pulls him off the wall, peels him directly off the wall, lifts him up directly towards his knee, and Blitzo says, not the Bane, as he gets a backbreaker, as the knee impacts towards Blitzo's back and he starts screaming in pain, as Santa says, he's coming from the top row, as he slams him on the ground and he imprints the ground. He jumps up in the air and slams his body on him, causing Blitzo to cough up an immense amount of blood. Blitzo is in so much pain that he can't really speak. It's really ridiculous the amount of pain he's in, as he's imprinted back to the floor now, instead of just the wall. But Santa says the most ridiculous reason for all this to happen. Nope, the reason this is happening is because you took my cookies and milk. Blitzo immediately starts to laugh a little bit, with a chuckle, thinking it's a joke, but sees his face and sees he's fucking serious, and says, you're fucking with me, right? Wait, no, that face says you're not. Hold the fucking phone. You got your elves to break into my home in the middle of the night, beat the shit out of me, drag me all the way here. You beat the shit out of me like some oversized, muscular, fucking steroid-imbued wrestler over some cookies and fucking milk. Is that about right? Santa looks at him and just says, while having a face of someone who's thinking a little bit, and says, yep, that's about right. as Blitzo thinks in his head, this motherfucker is insane. Immediately Santa looks at him and just thinks, what am I gonna have for dinner? Maybe some cookies and milk. As they are thinking these two very different things, Santa walks to the door and snaps his fingers, and 10 fucking elves walk in the door. As he walks out and says in a voice that sounds similar to a mob boss, for some fucking reason, break his fucking legs and leave him on the street. POV Izuku. So I currently have Moxie, Millie, and Luna all gathered in the I.M.P meeting room, about to tell them the situation. I look at them with a serious face as I'm at the middle of the table, sitting down in my chair as everyone else is sitting down, and I say, I gathered you all here because Blitzo got kidnapped by elves. Immediately everyone in the room busted out laughing at this. Even Stolas, who I didn't even know was in the fucking room right now, till he fell out of the vent, started laughing. I don't think none of us did, as Moxie, Millie, and Luna stopped laughing and scooted their chairs away from him. I immediately looked at him and decided to make a little joke. Coming out of a vent, that's kinda sus, I say while pressing the button in the middle of the table, which I don't know what it does until it ejects Moxie from his seat, as he was launched into the air so hard, he flew through the roof and out of the building as Luna and Stolas look amused at that, but Millie looks completely worried and is just looking around frantically trying to find Moxie, as she didn't see him getting flung. As I decide to speak more on the Blitzo situation, anyway, Blitzo was kidnapped and getting abducted. While I hear Moxie in the background saying, "You're a dick," I ignore it and just go back to my current situation. Anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and re-say that again. Someone interrupted rudely. Might I mind you? Anyway, I'm not kidding. Blitzo did get abducted by elves in the middle of the night. Only reason why I didn't walk in to help him was because I thought Stolas was there with him doing kinky sex bird shit. As I say this, Stolas gets out of his seat and says, "I would never." As I look at him and say, "Seriously?" And Stolas just puts his head down and says, "I would." But he says, "Don't worry, I can locate him." As he says this, Izuku says, "So you're gonna locate him with magic?" Stolas says, "No, with the tracker I have implanted in his left butt cheek." As Izuku hears this, he has a face that says, "What the fuck?" And so does everyone else. And then he says in his head, note to self, tell Blitzo about the tracker that's embedded into his butt cheek. That is all for today. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'm sorry if this video is very short. I decided to make shorter videos. After all, it's less of a hassle, and I can't really write that long of a script. I tried to, but I'm kind of still stuck in a writer's block. I hope you all enjoyed this, though.